Welcome everyone to this Cabinet meeting. Thank you for being here. Are there any apologies? Thank you. Any declarations of interest? Thank you. We're on item 3, minutes of our meeting, which we held on the 30th of July 2018, and those agreed. Thank you very much. We move on to item 4, Strategic Partner Programme 2019-22, Commissioning Requirements. Councillor Edith McCauley.
Thank you, Leader. Last year, Cabinet agreed to recommission the Strategic Partner Programme that funds voluntary sector organizations to provide advice and assistance to Martin's residents and also support services to the voluntary sector. Cabinet also agreed to maintain funding at existing level, recognizing the huge increase in demand for advice services, particularly around welfare benefits and housing. We ask officers to work with the voluntary sector to co-design a new program and to look at funding sources that could be pooled or aligned within the program. I'm very pleased to present the draft funding prospectus for the Strategic Partner Program 2019-22. This is a product of 6 months of very hard work by the collaborative working group, which has systematically worked through the requirements of the new program. The working group comprises of service commissioners from across the council, as well as the CCG, working together with colleagues from the voluntary sector. And there has been a real spirit of cooperation and unity of purposes to develop the funding prospectus, and I'm grateful to this group, which was co-chaired by Hannah Dude and Susanna Hodgson, the Chief Executive of Citizens Advice Bureau here in Martin. I'm also pleased to say that the Strategic Partnership Program has been expanded and now includes wellbeing services, care services, and health watch. Having a single program across multiple categories also make life easier for the voluntary sector. So there is just one funding prospectus, one application form, and one closing date. I will therefore recommend this report to you so that we agree the funding prospectus on the basis for seeking the new strategic partners and the process for awarding grant funding. Recommendations are A, B, C, and D.
Thank you, Councillor McCauley. I now call on Councillor Toby Byers.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to echo what Councillor McCauley said and particularly focus on the collaborative working with the voluntary sector. I'm pleased to see Kadiru here this evening, who I know put a lot of time and effort into the process. Councillor McCauley mentioned Suzanne Hudson from CAB, who co-chaired the process with Hannah, and I've also had messages from the chief execs of MainCap, Age UK and Wimbledon Guild saying how positively they found the whole process. So I think it's a fantastic process that the council and the voluntary sector have embarked on together. Chair, I just want to make a slight amend to the prospectus with colleagues' agreement. So on page 25 of the Cabinet pack, which is page 4 of the prospectus, one of the pieces of feedback we received was that there was some slight concern that we weren't giving enough emphasis on community care in the list of priorities. So having discussed this with the two co-chairs, Hannah and Suzanne, they've agreed to insert community care into the first bullet point, so it would read debt, benefits, housing and community care. I think it's important to emphasise that all of the work that the collaborative group did identified debt, benefits and housing as being the main issues that those who access these services wanted, but equally we do still want to provide support and advice around community care, so I think it's right that we add that into that bullet point. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Byers. Any officer input, Roger?
Thank you, Chair.
Any cabinet member contributions? Councillor Brunt.
Only as a precaution that I've worked for an organisation where the local group is not currently involved or the MS Society, so should there ever be any involvement with the MS Society, it needs to be noted that potential interest.
Yes, sure. Okay, this is a very good report. I want to thank everyone who worked on this. It continues to show the Council's values in supporting the voluntary sector. Thank you, Deary, for being here from MVSC and all the organisations who stand to gain from the Council's continued funding to help our residents who do need ever more help and advice on their benefits, on their debts that they face, and on housing issues. And this continues our commitment to make sure the organisations are there to help our residents who seek their support. So we're on item 4, strategic part of the programme. We have recommendations A to D, but be mindful of the change to the prospectus inserted in by Councillor Byers and Councillors Edith Macaulay. Are those agreed? Agreed. Thank you. We now move on to item 5, Draft Business Plan 2019-23. Councillor Mark Allison.
Thank you, Leader, and thank you to all the officers and staff who've helped in drawing up this document. This kind of kicks off, if you like, the budget process for this year. This will culminate in us setting a budget at the beginning of March, and it goes into great detail and very openly about the financial situation for the council at the moment. There's a lot of analysis about the issues that may emerge, the difficulties that local authorities are facing at the moment. And proposes the sort of way in which we will, the approach with which we will take to bring about a balanced budget, and also to look at the funding for future years as well for the coming 4 years. It has to be said and noted that most local authorities have suffered a great deal over the last 8 years now, and it has been a struggle. It's estimated that local authorities have lost around 63% of direct grant funding from the government since 2010, and clearly this has provided a great challenge for local authorities. As one of the more business-like local authorities, we've been very keen to find efficiencies and to seek better ways of doing and providing the services that we have. But I think that we're reaching a point where it's going to get harder and harder and harder to deliver the level of service that people demand within the financial constraints with which, as a result of the government, we find ourselves. And so, turning really to it's kind of like the starting point financially. On page 81, you can see the gap in the budget that we have for the coming 4 years, starting with relatively modest gaps, but reaching a very scary level. By 2022-23, we're looking at a gap of nearly £19 million. And just to give members an indication, that's equivalent to more than a quarter of what we receive each year in council tax. So that gives you a sense of the scale of what needs to be achieved. And we're doing a great deal of things. For instance, the introduction of wheeled bins is estimated to save us around £1.6 million, as well as reducing the amount of litter on the street streets to keep Britain tidy group obviously says that around half of our letter as a result of the way that we collect the waste services. But by moving to this service, not only will we improve the streets, we'll save 1.6 million. However, that is not even a tenth of the way of what we'll need to go over the next 4 years. So it's going to be massively challenging for us. Demands on the councils for services from an ageing population, from a population where more children are needing help and have special needs and disabilities that in the past may not have been looked after and now are. And that is providing a great deal of pressure for local authorities. So when we make the decisions that we will over the next 4 or 5 months about how to make the savings, they will be very hard choices that we'll have to make, but very necessary ones, because we don't want to end up in a situation of Northamptonshire County Council where they have failed and where services are being reduced to the absolute bare minimum and probably below what is safe or fair for the residents there. We don't want to get into that situation. So sorry, that's quite a long-winded and depressing message for everybody. We have a great deal of savings to find, and now I ask Cabinet to approve this approach, so that members across the authority can start to look at this through scrutiny and agree changes by the time we get to the budget meeting in March.
Thank you very much, Councillor Allison, Vice Director, and say anything. Roger, did you want to add anything?
Just very briefly, Chair, I think it's worth pointing out the high degree of uncertainty that's incorporated in these figures already with the, we're still waiting for decisions on Better Care Fund, on the future of the London Pool, the fair funding review, which could change the way we're funded, and around revenue support grant, etc. So given that all of that uncertainty, the scenarios that we've outlined within the report, and particularly Appendix 1 on page 89, do indicate a quite challenging level of savings that we have to make, which Councillor Allison's already outlined. But just in addition to the savings gap that we've calculated, which has been discussed at 18.729 million, we mustn't lose sight, of course, of the savings that were already baked into the MTF pay and MTFS, which are outlined in the report, that we are already experiencing a degree of challenge in meeting, although bulk of them have been met. And it's important that we retain a focus on those particular savings, Chair, from that point of view. And just one final point around one of the recommendations around the London Pool, and indeed the species investment points around that, which is a delegated part of that.
Thank you, Roger, and thank you to Councillor Allison. Any Cabinet member contributions? Councillor McCauley.
Just a point of clarification. I know there will be regular updates on the business planning process, but because of the review funding, which there has been uncertainty due to Brexit negotiations, is there any prediction as to what the funding will be for the coming year?
Post-Brexit obviously is a huge amount of uncertainty there. I know we've got a working group that we've established to look at various aspects of this, and I know this is something which is vexing the local government association quite significantly. It's almost impossible to say what the impact on this council will be, depending on how Brexit discussions go and our funding levels. And of course, there's lots of various elements around that in a way that the council can be impacted. So what I can say at this stage is we are looking at a number of measures that we can take to protect ourselves from that, but of course the future is hugely uncertain with regards to how those discussions and negotiations will go.
Thank you. I think that concludes the discussion. I'm very vexed myself about all these uncertainties, but we as a council will be businesslike. We will not be a Tory council as in Northamptonshire. We will be the London Borough of Merton Labour administration that looks after the residents, takes the difficult decisions, and let's remind ourselves that our business plan as we move towards a balanced budget in March of next year, this will go through, as Councillor Anderson said, through scrutiny, through the all-party scrutiny process. So we're on item 5, we have recommendations 1 to 7, just to remind ourselves we're giving delegated power on the London Business Rates Board as well. And they agreed. Thank you. We move on to item 6, Financial Report 2018-19, refers to June 2018. Councillor Allison.
I wonder if this would be helpful to take it at the same time as the financial report for July 2018 as well. If that's okay with you, Chair.
Yes.
There's obviously 2 months of financial reporting. Each month we keep track of where we are compared to budget for the current financial year. Helps us to give an assessment of direction of travel and offers an opportunity for us to explain some of the management action that's being taken to keep costs down where possible. You'll see there's been some movement in the projections as a result of management actions we've taken. So it had been expected in June that there'd been overspend of over £2 million, but we're now projecting as of July that we're coming in under £2 million, which is 0.4% of the gross budget. The reports outline and describe where the cost pressures are. There's particular pressures in, as I mentioned earlier, about the budget process in both adult social care to some extent, and particularly in children's services, where the demand for services has been very great across the country, and where most councils are complaining to the government that the government hasn't provided the support that's required. So that explains the general position, and there's also a number of environments and other recommendations as part of these 2 reports, which I propose tonight.
Thank you. Very happy to take those 2 together. So we're taking item 6, Financial Report June 2018, and item 7, Financial Report July 2018. Roger, did you want to add anything?
Simply to say, Chair, that obviously we're partway through the year, but these numbers will inevitably change as we go through.
Thank you. Any cabinet contributions on these 2 regular items that we receive each meeting? No, thank you very much. We're on items 6 and 7, our final 2 items. We're happy to agree for item 6, recommendations A and B, and for item 7, recommendations A to C. Is that agreed? Thank you. That concludes our meeting.